Hi, I'm Felix Sterling. I'm the Chief Legal Officer at Trend Micro and also EVP of Global Policy and Compliance.
Hi, I'm Leanne Harkup and I am the Company Secretary and Legal Advisor for all the Trend Micro European countries. GDPR is a general data protection regulation that replaces the current data protection legislation across Europe. It's being put in place to harmonise data subjects across Europe, their rights and their obligations for the protection of their data.
GDPR is fundamentally a legal obligation, so of course the legal department takes stewardship for the compliance, but if you're doing it right, the whole company pulls together to get it done.
GDPR can impact a business because you need to ensure that your customers and your employees' personal data is protected at all times and that your individuals are given rights to access and to delete their personal information.
The main impact has just been documentation, making sure that the right flow-throughs are agreed to by all the partners so that we're fully compliant, and that any partners that have an issue with that or that might not have the level of security in place that we would like to see are not going to get inside our network or get access to that data.
We've had to adjust all of our contractual documentation, which has been a mammoth task because we have lots of customers, lots of partners, and lots of individuals, and also our own employees. So it's been a long haul trying to update all those. And we've also had to update all of our privacy policies, both internally, externally, and on our websites to ensure that people know what information we're collecting and also what we do with that information and their rights, and to be able to delete their information if they so require.
Customers have always asked us, what data are you collecting? Where is it going? What are you doing with it? And we, more than any other kind of company, have had to take those concerns very seriously and make sure that we're using that data only to protect our customers' security.
Obviously, when the data protection regulation came out, we then had to inform the business of its obligations and when those obligations were going into effect. We started off by informing the board that we needed to put some safeguards in place. At Trend, actually, we were very lucky, and the fact is that we're a security company, so most of those safeguards were in place, but the GDPR obviously goes above and beyond usual data protection legislation, so we needed to inform the board that they needed to put stricter controls in place. The biggest challenge is actually the amount of data that you could possibly have. At Trend, when we started the GDPR journey and we started data mapping all of the data that we thought that we had, and because we are a global company, all of our systems are not necessarily interconnected. So we have systems around the world that collect data. So we had to then go back and find out where that data went, where it stopped, where we collected it, and where it was globally. And so I think that's the biggest challenge for us and any other company, to know actually how much data they actually have and then what they can do with that data.
I'd say the biggest challenge for us has been dealing with all of the vendors that potentially touch the network, that sell products that could sit within our network, that could do any sort of outsourced data processing, because a key GDPR requirement, of course, is flow downs to all of those kinds of vendors. That's also a requirement in the NIST Cybersecurity Framework 1.1, so we were already looking at that. And it's, fortunately, we've been very careful to not have too many vendors that get access to any sensitive data because we're already concerned about that. But making sure that the right contractual provisions get flowed down in a timely manner is a major project for any global company. And so that's something we're very focused on right now.
GDPR actually affects European citizens globally, so it should be seen as an issue globally. But actually, from my experience and at Trend's experience, generally we're seeing that it's actually only European companies at the moment that are taking notice of it. Trend as a company itself are actually taking GDPR as its global baseline.
It's very difficult to track the individual emerging requirements in 50 some odd different countries across the world and rapidly evolve your products and your practices to match those. So it's better to aim high, shoot for a standard that's above the strictest one, try to adopt and respect that standard, and then build something that's robust and uniform and scalable and will anticipate these requirements as they come down the pipe for some time.
If you haven't started, start now. That's the advice that I would give, because it's a really big job. We started very, very early last year, and we're nearly at the end of it, but we're not quite there yet. But we will be ready for the 25th of May. So if you haven't started, start.